to This Stuff Really Works 3.0, how to give the perfect presentation. If you have version 1.0, you'll be able to follow along in my case study 2 presentations and see how I followed this exactly to the T. But I'm going to be giving you the examples as we go through it. But you can use this presentation formula for any type of presentation, whether it's a teleconference, a webinar, or even in your emails or blog posts. This is the exact same formula. It even works on sales letters. You can literally use this exact same outline on your sales letter and watch your conversions go through the roof. This just works. It really does. This is formula I've learned from a couple of different marketers kind of put together, and I've tested them out, and this is what I used. It's not based on theory like the other product. This is exactly what I used and which one I found that works. So we're going to step right into it with the 6 steps of the perfect presentation. First step, you're going to start with the ultimate benefit to the viewer. As soon as you start, you're going to start off with the benefit. You want to start where the customer is. You want to start off by leading with what exactly they're going to learn, why they should stay on your webinar or presentation or sales page listening to the very end. You're going to tell them what they're going to be able to do if they stay to the end. What's the benefit? What is it they're going to learn? How is it going to change their lives once they're done? What's possible for them? Most people start out um, talking about themselves. How many presentations have you been on where the presentation starts with a long, drawn-out story? They're giving their history that's totally irrelevant. Their pictures of their kids and their cute puppies. Nobody cares. Start off talking about the viewer. Start off putting themselves, letting them know you understand them, and giving them the benefit of why they're there in the first place. They need to know what's going to be the benefit. So if you start off grabbing their attention right then and there, you'll definitely hold them longer onto the webinar or the presentation. So start off with that. So with my real estate webinar, the first thing I started off with, the example was, welcome to $10,000 in 60 days. By the end of this, you will know the entire step-by-step process of how you can go out by the time this webinar finishes and start a brand new real estate business from scratch where you can be making $10,000 or more. You'll to see the whole process just from start to finish. I'll outline the entire thing. So that's an example of how I started out, with giving them what they're going to learn, what they can expect, some of the results they can expect. So that's just an example. Start off with the benefit first, not talking about yourself or your background and your history, because no one cares about that. So after you've already got their attention and told them the benefits and what they can expect and what they're going to learn, then you can start off with your story, but not just, again, who you are and your background and your credentials and all that stuff. That's fine, but really you want to get their attention. Definitely do not bore them, but you're going to give them your story of struggle. So you want it to be valuable. You want to start off with the Jeff Walker, I think I'm a lot like you story. So example with mine again was, I started off with, I think I'm a lot like you. I wanted to get into real estate, but I was worried that I would lose a lot of money. I thought it was risky. So I tried doing it, the normal way of trying to get a loan and buy a property, and I ended up losing a bunch and having to, foreclose and risking all my money and tying things up and losing the property. And then having no option because I had no money in our house. That's where I learned how to still invest without using any of my money of my own because I didn't have that option. So, go into a little more depth, but give them your story of struggle, where you started out, how you were able to discover this, and then show your story of triumph of how everything changed, it worked for you, and now give the reason why you're sharing this with them. Give a compelling reason. For me, my compelling reason was people were asking me all the time, how do you do this? Well, what are you doing? So, being wanting able to help people was my compelling reason to share because I knew there was a lack of knowledge in this area and that a ton of people were in this economy right now were just losing money because they were just investing the wrong way. They were doing it the standard way everyone else was doing it, and then being told the market is bad, and it just wasn't the case. So that was my story, but make it a compelling story of where you started, how it was really bad, how you struggled, and then how you were able to overcome it and triumph, and then give the story of why you're compelled to share this with them, your vision, your dream, your mission, so they can really feel the emotional impact that this has for you. That it's not just doing it for the money. There has to be more of a compelling reason of why you're sharing this. Very next step. Now you're going to get into real life examples. If you have done this, whatever it is that you're teaching, if other people have used it and it's worked, share your case studies, share some success stories. If you don't have any success stories, then maybe paint the picture of an outline or an ideal situation that um, your average listener or reader has gone through. So think of what's something that's really common to what you're teaching and give a story of how they could use this and what it would possibly look like. So stories sell. If you can get your listeners or viewers to see themselves really happening, put themselves in the story, and you can relate to them, they'll already be visualizing and seeing the result. If you don't give them any story, you just start giving out tons of facts and stats, you'll lose them, they'll be bored, and they won't be able to relate to it. But stories always work. Lead with a story. And always make sure you're teaching at the same time. Make sure your stories are valuable and not just a bunch of hype. None of this, Joe did this and he made $5 million, and then Timmy did this and he also made $5 million. That's not a story. That's not valuable. That's not providing anything. So, for an example, I actually used my own example in this section where I told the story of how I made $23,000 on one deal without ever even seeing the property or being in it. And it was a matter of, I think it was about 3 weeks total from start to finish by sending out 300 lowball offers to all these properties where I told them I just basically found 300 properties on the MLS, and sight unseen I just immediately took whatever the asking price was and offered 68% and just sent the offer. And I sent that to 300 people, which I said is not the ideal method, but that was just one way to prove that doing it the traditional way just isn't the only way you can do it. So share a real life example. The more stories you have, the more case studies, the more it's going to help prove your point, the more it's valuable. None of this, flashy stacks of cash or, cars and all that crap. People are tired of that. They see it all the time. Give real examples. Be a real person, and not just a bunch of hype and BS. People can smell right through that when you're making stuff up. And then section 4. Once you've gone through these 3 in this exact order, do not miss any of this. Number 4 is go against common beliefs. This section is really, really important. This one, if you can address the issues head on, you will really, really get their attention. You'll really make them start to believe in you. It's a trust factor. So whatever it is that you're teaching, there's always something people believe why it won't work for them. And if you don't if you avoid these common obstacles, there will just be more questions at the end, and people won't believe you because they'll still be in the back of their head wondering, why that, thinking that this probably won't work. So it's more like myth busting. So take the common beliefs about your system, whatever it is you're teaching, and then tackle those head on and bust them. So again, in my real estate one, I went right into myth busting by telling them common beliefs that people had about real estate, which I went through a couple of them, and I told them it was just flat out wrong. Like, real estate is risky. That's a real common belief. People think, they think stock market is safe, um, and they'll rather put their money in stocks than invest in real estate. But real estate, a stock market, you can put money in your stock and it can go down to zero and be worth absolutely nothing. Real estate can never, ever, ever go down to zero. Even if you bought a house and the house burned to the ground and there's nothing there, even the land under it is still worth money. You can still sell the lot. Real estate can never value can go down to zero. So just go through again. You can see in the video of the real estate seminar in the bonus tab how I followed this to the T. I went through 6 or so of the common myths about real estate, like the market is bad. That was another big one. People believe that now is a bad time to get into real estate, and I busted that myth by saying it's never a bad time to get into real estate. The market is never bad because people are always buying houses, no matter what. If the market is high, buyer's market, then people are buying homes. If the market is low and no one's giving loans, then people are renting homes. But there's still investors who are buying the houses for people to rent. People always need a house. So that was another common myth, and go through about 6 or 7 of those. You'll know whatever those are for your market, and find them and address them head on. Find the problems, find the common beliefs, find the lies, if you will, and tackle them and show them why they should not be believing that, and why what you're going to teach them is going to change their mind completely. This is so important. Really, really try to find the really good beliefs that if people have struggled with, and things that have held them back, and help them see that that's no longer a problem if they continue to listen to you. So after you've done all that, now you're getting to the meat of the program, of your webinar, of your presentation. This is where you need to teach. Right here is where you're going to teach that great method that I told you about. Whatever your offer is, you're going to teach the entire process. This should be at least, if not more, 50% of the presentation. All of this above should be summed up in about 15 minutes. But this is where you're going to teach everything you know about your offer. You want them to get insane value. If they get to this point and leave, you want them to already leave this webinar knowing they got value, they learned something new. So give them 3 to 10 of your best tips, strategies, or steps. You're going to walk them through the entire process. Make sure this leads them to the desirable outcome. This is why they came. This is the section why they're on the webinar. This is what's going to keep them coming back. This is what's going to build the rapport, the trust. This is what's going to keep them subscribed to your list. This is what's going to keep them coming back to your next presentation. This is what's going to get them to possibly share your presentation and tell other people about it because they learned something new. If you give them value, they will keep coming back and they will love you. I've never had anyone leave one of my webinars not learning something valuable. As long as they stay to this part, they just about always thank me for the presentation I've given. So this part, deliver value. So many people leave this part out. They just get on the webinar and they think it's just about pitch, and they're trying to make the sale right out of the gate, and people are already leery about stuff like that. They're already getting pitched daily, so if you're already delivering them value, you're going to make them want to buy from you before you even get to your pitch, because they're going to want to learn more from you. You're going to prove that you're someone to listen to because you're going to give them value for free, more than most people have in their courses. You're going to give them more for free right here in this section. So do not leave that out. So example, in the real estate webinar, if you listen to it, when I got to this section, this is where I taught the entire wholesaling process. I went really in depth. I showed the websites that I used, I showed how I market, I showed where I write the contracts, I showed how I follow up. I even showed how to find the best markets to get into. I mean, I went through the entire process so that anyone would get the idea of the entire process if they watch that entire webinar. So you should go ahead and watch that, and you'll see. I mean, I literally followed this step by step exactly through that entire presentation. So follow along, you'll see that this is the meat. That's where I taught the process. Then the final part of your presentation is to hit stopping points. This one is key too. So you want them, now that you've taught them the lesson, you want to hit things that may come up, things that's going to get in their way, some possible obstacles they might come across, and some bonus tips. So you want to tell them things to look out for, things not to do, things to remember, and common mistakes that may come up. So in the example in the real estate course, I think I told them, don't worry about, or example, I could have told them things like, don't worry about getting deposits for your offers, and people are always worried about losing their deposit. And the way I write the contract, you never have to worry about losing your deposit. You can always get out of the contract if it's written properly. So that can be just one stopping point or something to look out for. Or I might have said, remember to make sure you write all your kind of contracts as assignable, as long as it's not a bank-owned REO property where they usually don't allow assignable contracts. Or another stopping point would be, someone might be worried about using which contract to use, because I have my own contracts, and then there's the state approved contract. And when dealing with an MLS property, the agents are required by law to use the state approved contract. So as long as you know how to fill it out, it doesn't really matter which contract you use if you understand which things to add. So that was just one of the stopping points you can hit. But again, this will be different for every market. You'll know what types of obstacles that'll come into the way for your particular product. So think about all the possible obstacles that could come, give them things to remember, bonus tips, and everything to just add more value to this. And then, but once we do all this, just this alone, you'll have a better presentation than anyone out there. You'll have it valuable, people will love it and share it. So just using these steps, that will be the perfect presentation. And then if you're going to sell something, that's when you go into the pitch. So at this point, you've already delivered more than 99% of the marketers out there who just came out pitching. So right now, their barriers are down. They've already built a little rapport. They're starting to like you a little bit. And now this is when you can transition into your pitch. Only now, after you've done all this and given them that value, then this is how you would pitch at the end of your presentation, webinar, email, sales letter, whatever it is that you're doing. Use this and your conversions will go through the roof, more than just sending them an email saying, here's my link, buy now. If you put it in this format every time, this will always work. If you want to do it in email, you can do one email for each section to spread it out. You can do this in a webinar just like I did. You can do this in a sales letter. Just do the same thing through the video and then lead to the pitch, or you can break it up into separate videos or a longer blog post. Then you follow up with the pitch. So here's how you transition. So next, you're going to tell them, now that you know how to do this, here's how it can streamline this program, streamline the process, and I can show you how to do this even better, and then you introduce your program. So for me, it was something like, you have everything you need to go out and start wholesaling and flipping a property today. Um, but if you want a little bit of help to help streamline the process, uh, introducing, I want you to, I want to introduce you to Real Estate CPR. This is where my program, where I'm going to help you to be on the fast track to getting that $10,000 in 60 days, as soon as possible, making it 100% foolproof for you. So you just introduce it briefly, giving the name, and talk about whatever the program is that you're going to be pitching. So the next you go right into bullet points. This is giving them the benefits, the results, the desired outcome. You're going to start with what the program is going to give them. So again, example using my course. This course is going to speed up your results, so you're not out there trying to do it on your own. It's going to basically guarantee you make $10,000 in less than 60 days. No guesswork. You can absolutely know, assured that you're going to have someone hand holding you along the way to make sure you close your first deal inside and out, tell you every part of the process. So I'm sure you can get better than that, but that's just a quick example of the bullet points. Then the next section, then you go into introducing the modules. So this is where you say what's actually inside the course and give each step. So like mine would be module 1, I'll show you how to research a target area so you know what area to invest in before you even start, so you're not picking a dead neighborhood. Module 2, I'll show you how to find out what's a hot area for investors, where the investors are buying the properties, because that's who you're going to be selling to, not homeowners. So I'll show you how to find out which zip codes, which areas, and how to contact buyers. And then module 3, I'll say here's how I market. I'll show you exactly what to say and exactly how to market, so you have your phone ringing off the hook, with people begging to give you their property or something like that. So then you go through and introduce the modules. Then the next section, part 4, is where you're going to remove the cost for them. Now, you don't want to just come out and just say, alright, so here's everything you're going to get, here's my course, buy it for $500, there's a buy button. You want to remove the cost for them. So explain how they're getting the value, and that why it's basically a steal. So I would say something like, how much is it worth to you to know that you can generate $10,000 or more at will? Like, this is a skill that will never go away. This is a skill that will work, that's worked from years ago and will work years in the future. Wherever people are living in homes, they will still be able to use this process. Doesn't matter if you're buying, people are living in huts or in igloos, this process will be the exact same where people need shelter that are buying and selling. So how much is it worth to know that you can generate $10,000 or more from wherever you are at any time you want? So you just build the value and show them that you're being able to this is going to add value. This is going to either um, make more money than they're going to spend, or they're going to add so much more value, but some kind of way always tie it into making it where it seems like it's a steal at that price. So any way that you can word or phrase that, remove the costs and then introduce what your price is going to be. And then next, add bonuses. So after you've given them what they're going to get already, and it's already a great value, then you're going to add a bonus. So something that goes over the top and exceed their expectations. So always be looking to give more value than they expect. So I think with mine, I think I offered to set up websites for them for lead generation for free. I think I offered to even get on the phone and help negotiate their deals if they needed to. That I would get do one-on-one Skype calls with them at least once a week. I mean, I just went crazy with the bonus. I made the offer absolutely ridiculous. So just think of whatever bonuses you can add so that people know they're getting the value. You don't want them purchasing and then thinking immediately that they want a refund because they didn't get anything from it. You want people to be wowed with all the extra things that they were going to get. Next, offer a guarantee. You have to offer a guarantee, and I usually try to offer two different ones. You just can't do business without offering a money back guarantee. I don't care what the product is. Uh, some people say for coaching and other things you can't offer a money back guarantee because they already got the product, and that's just not how I do it. You'll notice I offer a guarantee on all of my products because maybe it has something to do with my personal development background and kind of the law of attraction and just the way things work and my own personal beliefs. But I just have that belief that if you're not happy, then you shouldn't have to pay for it. It's just something I'll always stick by. If you if you can honestly say you did not get any value from any of my course or for whatever reason you're not happy with it, I just don't argue. I don't. I'm not in this to try to scam somebody out of some money. I don't want them to be forced to pay for something and be unhappy with it. I just feel like if you put out good things will come back to you. So if you have any of my programs and you're not happy with it, then first I'm going to try to make you happy. Obviously, I want to know why you weren't happy with it. But ultimately, anyone who's ever asked, I've given them I've given them the refund, and I can honestly say I can't remember the last time I had to give a refund because of that. Because I believe this, because I make sure I go above and beyond in offering this guarantee, I rarely have ever had to actually use it. And then the second one that'll really boost your conversions is the over-the-top crazy guarantee, which one I like to use is a lifetime guarantee because no one offers that. Everyone gives you 30 days, and then, oh God, if you don't hurry up and ask for your refund back, you're stuck with it. So that's why I offer the crazy lifetime guarantee. And yeah, I'm sure some people will take advantage of that, and they might just need some money, purchase it, and just get a refund. There's chronic refunders that do that anyway. Uh, but who cares? You just expect that that's going to happen. Offer the guarantee anyway. Who cares? If your product is good, word will spread. You will make it back. Um, so offer some sort of crazy guarantee that they have to prove, a conditional guarantee. So example I used was um, I think I had 30 or 60 days on the real estate program, no questions asked, they can have a refund. But then I offered if they went through every module, they contacted me and had me on the phone helping them, and they did everything. They marketed to people, they um, got properties under contract and did everything to the T, worked their tail off for 60 days and did not close a deal or make $10,000 or more. I offered double their money back. I'm pretty sure that was the offer. It was something crazy like that, but it was conditional. So unconditional, no matter, no questions asked, you can get your money back. Conditional guarantee means they have to actually prove that they did something, that they actually tried the process and it didn't work. They have to show that they did it, and they can prove to you that the process did not work for them even after trying everything. And then you can give them double, triple, or some crazy guarantee, or even offer a lifetime, whatever you want. But try to, if you can work in two guarantees, you'll definitely improve your conversions because people need that security. I've seen people, again, I'm coaching, they say no guarantees, no money back once you buy it. There's no refunds, and I know it hurts the sales. It's just not the way I do it. Offer a guarantee always. If you take anything else from this, make sure you offer a guarantee on all your offers. Just stand by your product, believe in what you do, that it's good, and if people don't want it, don't make force them to keep it. Offer a guarantee. All right, enough about that. Next one, we'll talk about scarcity. Give them a reason why they should purchase now. Otherwise, people need to be, waking up and know that they need this. They'll wait. They'll sit around. People are chronic procrastinators. I know I am too. So you need to add some sort of scarcity to help them take action right now. So a couple of different ways you can do that is fast action bonuses. So you can add something like, free Q&A webinars or private one-on-one callers or whatever it is. Offer something that's a bonus that's only available right then and there. Or you can say the price will increase after such and such time, or you can do limited seating. So with my real estate program, I think I limited it to either 5 or 10 people because reasonably I thought that's the most people I could handle working with at one time. Um, don't just say limited seats just because, if it's a downloadable PDF, don't say, only 5 copies before we run out because it's a PDF. You can't run out. So don't use that. Use the limited if there's a real reason why it's limited and give that. So, yeah. So when coaching, yeah, I can't coach 500 people at the same time and give the same results. So that there's a reason why it would be limited seating. Closing down, same thing. if if the offer is only going to be available for a certain amount of time and it's going to close, tell them that. So offer that. And if you say it's going to be closed down, then really close it down. Have a reason. Don't just put the timers up there and say it's closed and then it's really going to stay open forever, because then you lose credibility with your customers. So lose something if they come back later. So you can take away part of the course if you want. Like you could say, or I could have said, if you come back and try to order later, it'll still be available, but you won't get the free website and you won't get the free one-on-one Skype chats with me to help you through, or something like that. Another good one is if you can tell them why they can't afford not to have this. So that's when you can kind of talk about um, what what will happen if they don't buy this. So if you don't learn this method right now, you may be at risk for still going out there and trying to buy a property and losing your money. You could actually lose more than you're going to invest here if you learn how to buy a property successfully without ever having to risk a penny. You should never lose money in real estate. There's no way. The way I teach it, you can never lose a dime. So that's one way of showing what would happen if they don't buy it. But add some sort of scarcity. It's really important. Help wake the buyers up so they know why they need this now. Next, add another surprise bonus. Add another really insane bonus. They've already gotten so much value. Add one more thing that they didn't expect that just makes them fall out of their seat and running for their wallet to buy this for you. I think so. One of my insane bonuses I did for the real estate course was I did friends join free. So what I said was, even though the price was $9.97, which seemed like a lot all the way through here, but I reduced the value because they're going to make $10,000 or they're going to get it back, and they already have the opportunity to make $2,000 if they try everything, so they really had nothing to lose. Now I offered friends join free, so that means they could have a friend, family member, partner, spouse, someone else also join the membership with them and have an accountability buddy, somebody that can help work through the process. Which, if you're in 1.0, I'm huge on working with people. Like I said, no one ever does anything alone. more people you have working with you, the more momentum you pick up, the more ideas you can bounce off people. It's just easier to do something when you have some help. But not only that, I led them with the idea of even making the price even cheaper, because if they got a partner to join for free, they could split the cost. So now it's only $500 instead of $997 or $1,000. Now it's only $500. So that, I think that alone was a huge part of why I had success with the real estate one, because I just made an insane bonus. Whereas with the personal development one, I left this part out. I didn't have a huge surprise bonus or really that much scarcity, or really wasn't that great of an offer. So add one more insane bonus before you end, and then after you've done all of that, and this is mainly for if you're doing webinars. If this is a live webinar presentation, stay on for as long as you can answering questions. So after you've introduced that, given them the buy button, told them the offer, now hang around and answer as many questions as people ask while people have the chance to purchase. Tell them that this offer goes away once the webinar is over, so they gotta buy then, or however long you put up for the webinar. But stay on. For the people who are on the fence, who are still have questions, you will be able to convert these last few into buyers if you answer questions at the end. And another thing is announce the buyers. So if you're watching it and you see someone just purchase, tell them thank you and announce it. This works great if you have limited seats. If you have only offering 10 people to purchase and 5 people just bought, tell them that live. Say thank you, there's only 5 seats left. Thank you, John, for joining. Appreciate it. Thank you, Tim. And announce the buyers. So this is how you do the perfect pitch after you've already delivered the value for your perfect presentation. This works every time. And again, this isn't just theory, this is exactly what I used. You can go and watch my webinar and see how I followed all of this exactly to a T. So once you've done all that, I'll give you a few last tips, things to remember to help you out along the way. So one thing I want to remind you is keep that intro short. Again, no one wants to hear about your whole family history and talking about yourself. It's tough to say, but no one cares, really. Keep that whole introduction, those first 3 or 4 steps, keep them relatively short. Get right to delivering the value as soon as you can. Again, also try to make sure each step adds value, even if you're in the introduction part or you're in the struggle story part. If you can find a way to make each part valuable, you'll keep the attention longer. Stay on topic. Um, don't wander off and talk about random things that have nothing to do with the topic. You know, I do this often too, because I talk way more than I should. So sometimes I drift off and talk about things that aren't relevant. Stay on topic or you'll lose them. Don't be afraid to pitch. I've been on webinars where the content was really good, and then they get to the point where they're talking about their product and they're like almost afraid to ask for the sale. Where they're saying, you know, I've literally heard someone say, you know, you can buy this if you want, but you know, I guess you don't really need it. If you don't want to buy it, you don't have to. But you know, if you want, it'd be great if you would join. You know, don't do that. Be confident in your product and say, yeah, you need this. Yes, this is going to change your life, and yes, you should buy it. You'd be crazy not to buy it. I put a lot of work into this. This is all my years of research I put into this. And if you don't get this, you're not going to get the value that other people are going to get. You'll see them pass you up in whatever it is you're teaching because they have this knowledge. I worked and took a long time to acquire these skills, and I'm going to teach it to you for a fraction of what it cost me. So, yeah, you should buy this, and yeah, I'm going to tell you you need this, and you should make the purchase. So don't be afraid to pitch. If your product is good, they should buy it. They honestly should. And make it easy for them to buy. So don't put in a URL, you know, paypal.com/IBN forward dash 37466. You know, a long URL. Make the URLs easy to remember. Like, you know, make it coachcomeback.com/buy or /join or something like that. I think I used, there's plenty of free plugins out there to shorten the URLs. If you can, put a buy button so all they have to do is click it, but make the buy process as easy as possible. You want to make sure if they do have to come back and do it later, it's easy for them to remember it. There's no way they'll remember your long PayPal buy button link, but you know, I can tell you a week from now, someone will still remember coachcomeback.com/join. So make it easy to buy. Do whatever you can to make the process smooth and easy for them to purchase. And then once you start the pitch process, if you're doing this on a webinar, keep the URL on the page. If you're doing it on a slideshow, put the URL right there at the bottom and leave it up until the webinar is over. Even I did it in a mind map like this, and I made sure the URL was off of one of the trees over here and showing the whole time. So just make sure the buy button stays up. So keep the URL there, easy, and if you can, always send out a replay. Always record and send out a replay, because why not? Some people won't make it live. Some people will still be on the fence. So they may need a few days to think about it. Send out the replay. Email them, follow up, and try to capture those extra buyers who purchased during the replay. If I didn't send out the replay to my real estate class, I would have only made 1,996, I think, 95, trying to do the math in my head. But I got that one extra sale of 997 from the replay. 2 bought during and 1 bought during the replay. So make sure you get a recording and send out the replay. And if you do all of this, I guarantee you will have success in all of your presentations. You'll see your conversions. I want you to come back and share with me some before and after success stories. I hope you enjoy this perfect pitch. Refer to it often when you're writing out your presentation. Cue this video up, follow along, and do it step by step. Follow each step exactly, and you will have the best converting webinars or presentations or sales page, whatever you want. This stuff works. I use it myself. You've seen the proof. This is exactly what I do. This isn't theory. I use this because it works. So go out there, make some webinars, do some perfect pitching, and see you inside the members area. Enjoy.